now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also on Anchor FM and Radio Public, and also watch the interview on YouTube as well, too. And check out the Mike Wagner Show, subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show, and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with two wonderful gentlemen from the movie Todd, which stars Laura Stetman, has gotten some very rave reviews. We have actor Hans Hernke, who is one of the major players, and directed by Aaron Warren, who is also produced quite a number of films too, like Hidden Agenda, Another Planet from Outer Space, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and of course Hans has been in quite a number of movies as well too, getting started with Harvey, and he also have been in Universal Studios, and he was in Sky High, Sidekick, and also at World's End, and many, many more. And he was also part of Pirates of the Caribbean, and a lot of great movies, and this all combined into a really good feature film. And we'll talk about the movie Todd and talk about the careers. And first, before we do that, we'd like to bring in two wonderful gentlemen to talk about the great movie, Hans Hernke and Aaron Warren. Gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, guys. And we're here to talk about the movie Todd, which has gotten really rave reviews, starring Laura Stetman, Hans Hernke, and directed by Aaron Warren and many others. It's about a movie of a guy named Todd who's been belittled by so many people and turned into rage and everything else. We'll talk more about that, and we'll also talk about your careers as well too, and just how did this come together. And before we do all that, tell us how did Todd get started?
Well, it became an idea that I had about I was going for a psychological thriller, and I wanted to write an idea that came to me as somebody who was struggling with life and struggling with relationships, and then it kind of became a whole idea of how he was struggling with himself and how that became he's trying to get help, and through that it triggered a whole chain of events through his family and other people's families, and how his central character kind of affect these different areas of the family's life, and how he directly is responsible kind of for changing them and in positive and negative ways without him even knowing that he is the central piece to all these puzzles. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was kind of a cool way of going about a character that hadn't really been done. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to write a character. So that's how it began, and it kind of evolved into what it is, where he's just a kind of a psychological mind that kind of reacts according to the world around him, and that's how that kind of came to be.
Mm-hmm. And do you think this type of movie is going to be more common these days, or is it something that needs to be addressed, like, say, with his situation, and what do people do about it when it comes to this type of behavior?
Well, I just think it's the kind of thing where I think it's going to relate to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, and I think people are going to take some different aspects from the character in a lot of different aspects of their own life. But it's also a kind of a showing of what can happen in a world where people are not recognized for who they truly are, and they're able to function in a society that doesn't understand them. So I think it's kind of cool how they're able to adapt. And I think it's going to show people what can happen when people don't see the world around them for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And also with Hans, you also include as well, too. Have you guys encountered anybody that is similar to Todd, like in terms of personality or how he goes about, like with women, girlfriend, or teachers, psychotherapists, and everything else? And have you guys encountered anyone close to it, or how'd you guys handle similar?
Thankfully not. I have never encountered somebody like that before, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Aaron, Mr. Warren?
No, I'm not sure if I've ever encountered somebody that's exactly like Todd, and I don't think I really want to. I mean, exactly the way he is. That's kind of an interesting mind, but I think it's kind of a cool character to play. And so I think it's a cool aspect. And I think it's a character that most people don't really see every given day. So I think it's going to be a unique experience and a unique character for the screen.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, Hans, let's just get with you and tell us how you got involved with Todd.
Well, I worked with Aaron Warren on Hidden Agenda back in 2013, and I played the lead character, Detective Matthews, and we shot that in Orlando. We had a lot of fun doing that. It was like a film family, and we released the film, and it did really well. And then Aaron's next project was Todd. Now, for a while, he's telling me about the film and how the script is being written by him and his friend Jim. For Aaron, if you remember, for a while you didn't want me to be Todd. You were hoping somebody else would do it, and I was like, well, if you got a role for me, I'll take it. I'd love to be in your next film. And then Aaron finally said, all right, I want you to be Todd. Remember that, Aaron?
Yeah, and I realized, and I kind of watched Hidden Agenda again. It was kind of funny how I made a comparison. And I saw an aspect of Detective Matthews in that film that I saw Hans play kind of differently. And when I was writing the script, I talked to Jim about it, and we both agreed. It's like, well, why not let's have Hans would be the perfect kind of guy to play this character. And he took it in a place that I didn't even think it was going to go. And I'm very happy the way he took it, because it was a whole different way that I even thought the character would evolve. And it evolved into like this really awesome part. And I couldn't be happier with that choice to cast Hans for that character. Best decision I made on the film.
No, thank you, man. It was definitely it was a challenge for sure, because when I read the script, it's like, how am I going to play this character off? I've never played a character like this before. I studied a couple films, like 1 Hour Photo, things like that, but I didn't want to replicate what those actors are doing. I wanted to make it my own, of course. And I memorized all my lines with my friend Scott DuPont. He helped me put all my lines on tape, and we just read the lines. Like, there was no emphasis. As I kept listening to them over and over again, it's like, all right, how am I going to play these scenes off? And everything just sort of evolved and happened on set. Like, the girl that I have a lot of screen time with, Laura Stetman, Lauren and I didn't want to become close during the filming, because that would ruin the chemistry that we have in our characters, where I'm starting to weirdly obsessed, fall in love with her character, and she's very put off by it, and she's very creeped out by it. So we didn't want to, hang out as much on set. We kind of stayed away from each other, and it wasn't a personal thing. And then with Aaron Jackson, who played Dr. Miller, just freaking fabulous. I love that guy. Our chemistry just started bouncing from day one, and people were telling me on set the first day we filmed, we did all the psychologist office scenes in one day, and they're telling me, whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because you're creeping us all out. And I said, all right, my mind's in the right place now. I know what I'm doing. I don't want to watch any footage whatsoever, because if I do, I'm going to overanalyze what I'm doing. just keep doing what you're doing and go into that place every time you play Todd. And I did it, and everyone's like, dude, you're creeping us out. Like, I know the makeup artist, Mel, she told me she was nervous about coming up to me once in a while because I was so into that moment that she didn't know if she was able to come talk to me or put some more makeup on me. But when I'm, like, not on camera, then, you know, I snap out of it and I'm Hans again. But, yeah, it was definitely the most darkest, intense characters I've ever played, and there was several days where, you know, you do 7 pages of straight dialogue all in one take, and it knocks you out emotionally. And Laura and I and Dr. Aaron Jackson, we went through all of that, and it feels so good when you knock a scene like that out of the park. You're like, yes, it's done. I can get rid of whatever I was thinking now.
and hoping you guys didn't take it on each other on the set, like with Michael, Aaron, Ileana, Claire, Laura, Jason, and everything else. Hope you guys just kept that all separate and just didn't spill over in the parking lot. I just want to make sure it didn't happen. So.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was just so awesome to work with. They were all very professional, and they were all just very excited to be there, and we just had so much fun bouncing off each other.
And of course, with the movie, Todd, tell us, where can you find the film?
Well, the website is, right now, it's we're pushing the website. It's www.toddmovie.com. All the information about the film is there. The teaser trailer is already up. The information on the film is already up, and we have a blooper reel that's also out online. You can look it on YouTube, and we already got some stuff going. So, and we're looking to push here for release here coming pretty soon in the next few months, hopefully, and get a trailer out and really get things moving and get people really excited about the project. So.
That is amazing too. We'll talk about your careers and how it led up to this point. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, Apple and iTunes, Google Play, and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube channel. And take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with Hans Hernke and Aaron Hearn, the actor and director of the movie Todd, which is currently out right now, as they told you where you can find the film. And, we talked about the movie, talked about how it came together, and let's talk about your careers and how it got to a point. So let's start with you, Hans. You start at the age of 17 in Orlando. You played Harvey. You also been in Pirates of the Caribbean and many more. And officially, tell us how you got started.
Well, all of it started pretty much for me at the Masters Academy, middle school and high school in Orlando and Oviedo. And, I would not have been able to get to where I am today had it not been for my parents, Paul and Barbara Hernke, for sending me to that school. And then for the school just being so gracious to me to let me get off, days of school to go out and do auditions and, commercial and film shoots and things like that. Because originally when I approached them with that idea, they said, are you skipping school to go to a job? And I said, essentially I am. And they said, you can't skip school to go to work. And I said, I understand that, but what I'm doing is going to be very important to my career later on down the road when I'm out of high school. You have to trust me. And they said, all right, we'll make you a deal. You keep good grades and you can go on your film shoots and things like that. And so I kept my good grades. I tried to, at least. I booked some things. I booked a SAG National commercial. That's how I got in the Screen Actors Guild. And, from there on, I did the plays at school. And from there, it just kind of took off. And I'm just internally grateful to my parents in that school for giving me that chance to go out and do that and trusting me, because not a lot of schools will let somebody do that. They're like, well, you'll figure it out when you're out of high school, you know. But it's the Masters Academy, the teachers there, Sarah Thomas, my drama teacher, Judy Tome, my fine arts director. All the teachers there are just so supportive of what I'm doing, and they still are, and they're all praying for me, and they're praying for the best. And after high school, I just moved out to LA. I lived in Vancouver for like a couple months, but that didn't work out, so I moved back to Orlando, and then I moved to LA, did New York Film Academy, and all of my experience that I've gotten has just been working on the film set, whether being an extra, being a stand-in, or just going out and auditioning. That's always just good practice. It's just, even if it's a student film, go do it. It's good practice for you, and it keeps you fresh with your auditioning. And I've been out here for 17 years, and I've realized that when you come out here, a lot of people have this dream, like, I want to be a movie star, I want to be famous. But, you know, sometimes it's a hard dream to get, and I'm very content with just being a working actor. And I've also realized, too, that a lot of the doors that you think, this door's going to open for me, that door's going to open for me, a lot of the doors you have to start opening yourself and making these opportunities for yourself. And I've been doing that for many years now, and it's branched out to more opportunities for more doors to open for myself and other people involved. Mm-hmm. So it's like a win-win. So my 17 years of being out here has been very blessed, and I've just been very fortunate to have a supporting family, a loving and supporting wife, Lisa Hernke, for just allowing me to soar with my career, and I can't do it without them, you know?
That is amazing, too. And, of course, you've been in, like, TNT's Animal Kingdom, Red Army Hooligans, The Howling, and also another plan from outer space, which we'll talk to Aaron Warren about that. Maybe just tell us a little bit about those and some of the other projects you've been in that really stood out in the spotlight for you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, well, the thing is the great thing about Another Planet from Outer Space is that Hans was also the producer on that, and they came to me and as a producer on that, and we worked together on kind of that the vision for that. And I think that film and Hans is a cool character, a unique character that if I've not said before, he hadn't really played a character kind of like that. And what's cool about that is I'll let Hans go more into kind of the whole idea behind the film, but I think it was kind of cool to kind of take it back and kind of take that unique take on a sci-fi journey, if you will, kind of going back to the old school way of kind of looking at a sci-fi film. I thought it was kind of cool how to go back to the 60s, 70s retro way of going about that. So I thought that was pretty sweet.
That was amazing. And in fact, I'm glad you talked about Another Planet from Outer Space, which was one of your big projects as well, too, along with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Hidden Agenda, of course, Todd. And Aaron, just tell us how you got started as well.
Well, I started at the New York Film Academy in New York City. That's where I had filmed. So I was there for 2 or 3 years. And I went to LA after that for an internship. I was working with Paramount Studios for a while out there, and I was working with a few people there. And while I was out there, I kind of got my feet wet. But I decided that LA is kind of not where I saw myself, kind of where I wanted to be. I grew up in Orlando as well, and I grew up in Orlando when I was in high school. And I remember I'm thinking, how cool would it be to bring the arts kind of back to Orlando? Instead of me being out here in LA, let's shoot the movies, let's do everything and bring the Hollywood, if you will, and bring kind of that aspect to Florida, because Florida has an amazing area to shoot. It's got great tax incentives. It's a wonderful place to make film. And I don't think people understand how pretty Orlando and certain aspects of Orlando is for filming. So I kind of wanted to bring that to a forefront, and a lot of my investors, people that work with the films, are also big on making Orlando kind of shine in the film world again, kind of bringing those films, major films, back to Orlando, Florida. Kind of that's why I kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
that is amazing too, and we'll talk about some of your favorite with your TV, movie stars, directors, and everything else, how everything all come together, and a few more about Todd in just a minute. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Apple, and Google Play. And subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with actor Hans Hernke and director Aaron Warren of Todd, which is going to be out very soon here, or by the time we get through this interview, it'll be released. It's a psycho thriller, and we talked about the character and how he became and how he got put out and everything else, almost reflecting somewhat of society. And, of course, we like to bring you guys together. And who do you consider, say, your most influential in terms of your favorite TV stars, actors, TV shows, and directors and everything else? And, tell us about your favorites and how you guys influence each other, especially in the movie.
Well, I guess I'll go then. I think that my favorite directors, I guess, if you would say, that kind of molded my way I kind of do what I do is I think Stanley Kubrick is kind of my idol, if you will, when it comes to a director. The way he shot, the way he thinks, the vision of his films, have always intrigued me and have always been something that I've aspired to. People like Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, Steven Spielberg, more recently, but people like that have had a very creative mind when it came to, and I've always been big on directors that can look through a camera and establish kind of where they want it to go. And I think the DP is also one of the most important people because they work with the director to bring that vision according to kind of where they both are wanting to go. And I think what's really cool is having a director with an eye for a camera first, and how he takes that and understands film and understands the industry and understands the art of it, is really intriguing to me and kind of inspired me to do what I do. When it comes to actors, I have to go with, of course, Al Pacino, Anthony Hopkins, Jeff Goldblum, to name a few of the talented actors that I remember growing up, who have really been Jimmy Stewart from the older days, James Cagney. These actors have really inspired me to kind of be in that thriller genre is kind of where I am. I kind of am staying kind of in that thriller genre, but I'm branching different areas, but that's kind of where I live in my mind. So that's where I've been, and that's kind of where I aspire to go and be.
It sounds like you're fascinated with thrillers as well, too. And if somebody asked you to, say, do a comedy, romance movie, or anything like that, would you take on that kind of project?
Well, absolutely. But I think that as a director, even a comedy, I would have some kind of psychological element that would twist it a little bit. I mean, I always liked to, all of my films have a theme, and that's kind of like a psychological twist to the story in some way, whether it's noticeable or subconscious or in between both of those. There's always something that's different, unique, a take on a drama or a comedy or anything of kind of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's something like Hans would be in too. And Hans, do you agree with that? Maybe being a comedy or romance with Aaron, and if so, or if not, you can tell me. And otherwise, who are some of your favorite actors and favorite directors and TV shows or movies growing up at your end?
Oh, sure. I would love to do a comedy or a rom-com someday, because I hear my parents always saying, Hans, when are you going to make a movie that we can go see where you're not getting tortured or killed or there's bad language and stuff? And I said, well, hey, Another Planet from Outer Space is a pretty clean movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a fun movie, and my parents really, really enjoyed that one. So I'm glad they got to watch that. I know some of the teachers at Masters Academy also asked me, when are you going to do that rom-com movie or comedy movie? And hopefully one of these days I'll be able to do it. But, there's some about psychological thrillers that are fun to make, and horror movies are fun to make too. I mean, you can churn those out really quickly, and that's just what I've been doing a lot. It's just I've been getting offered to do those films. And as far as, like, some of my favorite actors is, one, Johnny Depp. Love Johnny Depp. He's a chameleon. When he plays a character, he changes up a little bit. But there's always a hint of some of his past characters in a character that he's playing, which is interesting to me. And, of course, my favorite character is him as Jack Sparrow. It's hands down. I love those movies. And so Johnny Depp's definitely an influence on my career, and so is Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford, the Indiana Jones and Star Wars series. And then Mel Gibson. There's two reasons why I like Mel Gibson. He's a really, really awesome, strong actor, and he's also a very good director, and he's an actor's director too, because he knows both sides of the lens. He knows how to direct an actor. And, his best film is The Passion of the Christ, and I love watching that film every Easter time. It's a nice reminder of what Jesus did for us, and just a beautifully shot film. Like, he got it. He took a risk on his own career to do it. And he also told Jim Caviezel, who's also another just a very humble, down-to-earth actor, it's like, you may not ever work again because of this movie. And Jim Caviezel is still working, but both those guys took risks because they believed in what they were going to do. And that's another thing I like about them, is they take risks because they believe in what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I look up to those guys.
That is amazing too. And both of you can chime in. What are your favorite movies and the most influential in your careers?
Wow. That's a big question. I think it depends on the situation for me, but of course, I mean, me being a Stanley Kubrick, I would have to say Clockwork Orange, The Shining. Those films really had a big influence on me. Jurassic Park had a big influence on me. I remember one of the first films I saw when I was 10 years old was Jurassic Park in the theater, and I leaned over to my friend and my mom, and I said, "This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Like, this is all I'm going to do. Like, this is my, because the vision of that film." And I like films that inspire, but I also like films that make you think, and that's why I like thrillers and psychological things, because whether you agree or disagree, you're still thinking. It gives you something to think about. It gives you a different perspective on the world around you. And I always try to find directors and movies, like Silence of the Lambs was a big movie that inspired me, of course, and films like Seven, those kind of films that really are kind of where my genre lives. But, so, I mean, and also, dramas like Your Bravehearts, and, of course, those epic films like Spartacus inspire me too. So,
That is amazing, too. And Hans, you also rattled off some movies. And what are some of the movies that also consider a big influence in your career, or most influential?
I would definitely say the Star Wars movies, the Indiana Jones movies, and one movie in particular that really got me more interested was Titanic. And I know a lot of people laugh, say, "Oh, it's a romantic movie on the sea." Well, the amount of detail that went into making that movie just still blows my mind. From the building of the ship to all the details inside the ship, and then all the etiquette that all the extras and all the actors had to go through. I mean, Jim Cameron spent a lot of time, and he also took a risk too on that movie. He gave up his director's salary, and he wanted to take back end points instead, because the budget was just going overboard with that movie. And just the level of detail blew my mind away. And every time you watch that movie, you feel like you are there on the ship with them when the ship is going down. And I felt that way when I watched the movie the first time in the theater. And like in Aaron's experience, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. That was my moment. It was like, I want to make movies. I want to tell stories. I want to entertain. I want to inspire people. So that was one of the biggest movies that really, I think, got me going. All the other, like the Star Wars films and Indiana Jones films, are like, oh, those look fun. I would love to be in a Star Wars film one day. But I think it was Titanic was the one that just said to me, this is what you need to do, Hans. I think this is the path that you need to go down. And it all started in high school. So, because I remember the film came out while I was in high school.
Wow, amazing. And I can imagine you guys, I'm the king of the world.
Yeah.
That stands up in my mind for whatever reason. I see why everybody imitates it. It's like, I can tell you watch the Titanic. I'm the king of the world.
Yeah, Leo, going back to actors that are influenced me, I love Leonardo DiCaprio's work. It's just watching his career grow ever since Titanic, with The Departed and all the other films that he's been in. He's just a really strong actor, and I've had a chance of meeting him before, and he's a really humble guy and very quiet. He's surrounded by a lot of girls, but he's just a very good actor. And one of my favorite films with him is definitely The Departed. I really enjoyed him in that movie. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was awesome in that film too. There were a lot of things in that movie where I could relate to being an actor, like, forgetting your lines, and it was a fun movie to watch, and anybody that's in the film industry should definitely go check that one out. But Leo and Brad Pitt, like, they had good chemistry together in that movie.
That's amazing. Sounds like you guys had great chemistry. You had great chemistry with Laura Stetman and all the others as well too. You mentioned a few of the characters as well too. And what do you think were some of the highlights in the filming of Todd, and what are some like the most challenging scenes you guys have done?
Well, the thing for me as a director is that, as a craft, this is my art, this is my craft, this is what I do. But it is in the way you cast the film and the way you put your crew together is very important to the director, because they are your backbone when it comes to what you do. And if the story is good and the script is good, but you don't have a great cast, then your vision is not realized. So I think casting for me is one of the most lengthiest and hardest parts of a film. Like getting someone like Hans, for example, or a Laura Stetman, Aaron Jackson, so on. You have to find where they fit and find how are they going to. And sometimes the scary thing for a director is you don't know until you're on set, unfortunately, until how is this going to be realized, and you hope for the best. But I got to give a shout out to my crew, Travis Cecil, my DP, all my producers like Aaron Jackson, Laura, Lisa Wassel, a lot of these people. Hans Hernke was also a producer who really came behind me and really supported me as the director and believed in me and believed in the project enough to really realize what it can be. So I think it's very important as a director, from my standpoint, to have people around you and under you that respect you and you respect them. And it was one of the best sets and one of the smoothest sets that I think I've ever ran, and one of the smoothest sets that I've been on. And we were like a family the whole time and had an amazing rap party. It's just one of the best times I've had as a director. So I appreciate, and that was also a testament to Hans. I mean, he asked me 3 or 4 times, how's this going? Are you liking the character? I said, listen, if I don't say anything, brother, then that means you're doing fine. It was. So he really.
I was going to say, did you hear that, Hans?
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
That's amazing too. And Hans, what was your favorite moments in the movie and the most challenging in Todd?
Well, I just like the whole bonding with the cast and crew when I wasn't in character, and we stayed at 2 separate Airbnbs, and occasionally one would come over to the other, and we'd all hang out, and just the feeling of being on set every day and watching all of our cast and crew just work and doing what they love and they're very passionate about it was really cool to see it all come together 2 years later. And I think some of the challenging stuff that we had was we spent 3 days in a diner, and I remember we wanted to just black out the windows. So Aaron and I went to Home Depot and we got this black visqueen, like 100 feet worth of black visqueen, and we were going to black out these tall windows in this diner so it would just look like night all the time. And the humidity caused the paint to peel. So when everything was all set up and we were ready to go, the black visqueen just fell down, and we're like, oh my God.
Oh no!
So we just like, well, we just got to shoot it somehow, and we just have to avoid the window. So we were able to make it work, and we returned the black visqueen. But I remember that was it was on our first day at the diner, and it was rainy outside. Luckily, we were all filming inside, but we had to wait outside to get in because the diner was getting cleaned up and getting ready for us. And if you're ever in Orlando, please stop at the diner in Kissimmee near Universal. It's really, really good. They were very hospitable to us to be there, and we were there from 3 p.m. till midnight every night. So we got all the diner stuff done. So that was fun. That was challenging. That was the day where we had extras every day too, and the extras were fantastic. One thing I realized, the extras there are a lot different for some of the background that I work with out here. The extras in Orlando are like, oh yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I'm ready to work. Hey, it's nice meeting you. Just let me know what you need. I'll be there and I'm going to do it. And then some of the extras that I work with out here, I'm not saying the people that I know. The people I know are professional background and they're not like this at all. But some of the extras I have worked with out in LA are like, when do we go home? When are we getting fed? When is rap? I mean, like, it's just nonstop question after question. But in Orlando, it's so much different. Mm-hmm. Aaron, were you saying something?
No, I'm good.
Were you going to say? Okay. And then, well, the other challenging thing I wanted to bring up was there's 2 really key scenes in the movie that required a lot of emotion and a lot of intensity, and they were both about 7 pages long. And Aaron and Travis, they wanted to do it all in one take. So the scene I did with Laura, we did like 3 or 4 different angles of that scene, 7 pages, and we just kept knocking it out. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, it's lunchtime. And Laura and I looked at her, we're like, no. We don't want to go to lunch. We're in this groove now
already.
It's like, we'll take a grace period, and we want to get this scene done because it was a very intense scene, and the crew was like, you guys do what you got to do. We're fine with not eating for another half hour or so. Do what you got to do. So Laura and I, we knocked it out of the park, and we were really happy that we didn't go to lunch because I've been in that situation where you do your lunch break and you're in the middle of the scene, and when you come back, that momentum and that moment that you're in is gone. It's completely gone.
I know exactly what you mean, but go ahead.
Yeah, and that's happened to me several times. It's like where they get to my close-up. Oh, well, we got to break for lunch. And I'm like, no, don't break for lunch. On my close-up, this. I'm like in the moment now. No, you take an hour lunch and you go back, and it's just like that momentum is gone. And then the other scene, there's a very important scene in the movie that was also around 7 or 8 pages, and that involved Aaron Jackson and Rhonda and Savannah, and that was a really, really intense scene as well. And Travis, asked me, how many takes do you have in you? I said probably about 3 or 4, and we did it in 3 or 4 takes. We did a couple angles, and again, it was like so rewarding to finish that. And then Aaron Jackson came up to me and said, dude, you knocked it out of the park, bro. You knocked it out of the park. And it's always good to hear that from another actor, and he did too. I mean, you'll see our chemistry when the movie comes out. We played really well off each other.
That's amazing too, and good thing it wasn't shot in L.A. It had extras out just crying about certain things. Dust my chair, get my drink, I need coffee, and all that.
Oh yeah. The extras in Orlando are fabulous. I love the extras we had for the diner. Were just very, very professional, and they just seemed very happy to be there, and that made us happy.
Mm-hmm. And
also, what's really great as a director is also, if I can chime in here, Hans, is that when it comes with extras, sometimes these extras might come, and the director and the producers might look at them and say, we don't need them. It might be 2 hours in, and it might be 3 hours in. And some of these guys are troopers, man. They just wanted to be there, to be on. And I said, look, we don't need you today. I appreciate you coming out. They're like, oh, that's all. It's no problem. They were just so gracious, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to people saying, what? I'm supposed to be for 4 hours. And it's just really great to have people that understand the vision you're trying to get and are focused on that and not everything else, which is really cool. It made things flow.
It just sounds like they like to hang around for the camaraderie. That's what it sounds like. It's great.
Yep. And the experience and the networking.
That is amazing. And guys, we have a couple of minutes here. We know you're both very busy, and just want to say a big thank you. And who do you guys consider biggest influences in your career? So feel free to jump in, guys.
I'll let Hans take that first. I got to think for a second.
Well, I
think.
I definitely think Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford, people like them have been big influences on my career.
I would have to say, again, Stanley Kubrick, director like Martin Scorsese, actors like, I would have to say Anthony Hopkins, just people that have really, James Cagney, again, back in the old Public Enemy days. So, I mean, I remember growing up watching The Birds and Alfred Hitchcock and those kind of things. So a lot of different aspects, Spielberg, of course, they all inspired me to kind of make films that make people talk and are interesting and are creative and not really genre-wise, but more of personality-wise and psychologically-wise. And it's been big influence on me as a person, but also in the way I direct and the way I do what I do.
That is amazing, guys. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody? Feel free to jump in, both of you.
I say if you believe in something strong enough and you're willing to do whatever it takes, anything that you want to do in life is attainable. And I would just say that if anybody wants to, if people are in the film industry and they're saying, well, do you want to be a director or how do you do that? Well, you do that by I started as a DP, as an AD, as a TA, and you have to earn your stripes. But once you start experiencing these things, those experiences will guide you kind of where you want to go, and you might find out that you might not want to even do that. You might not want to be a director. You might want to be a producer, and those experiences kind of put you where your gifts are. So I just encourage people who, if they have a dream, to not let anybody push back on it and just push through it and go for it and do what it takes to get there.
That is amazing. And how about you? What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Set your dreams high, set your expectations high. But if you don't reach a goal, that doesn't mean give up. There's other stars that you can grab and reach for out there. Like, for instance, when I came out here, I just wanted to be an actor. That was the star I was going for. And then I realized, oh, look, there's a star here I can go for. There's a star here I can go for. So casting director, producer, stand-in, all that. So I started grabbing all of those stars, and they just open up more doors for you. And you never know. You might find your niche. That's something that you really enjoy doing. Like, for instance, for me, I really enjoy standing in. And that's the show. I stand in on Animal Kingdom right now. We're going to season 5. I really love being on that show. The cast and crew are fabulous. I learn something new every day. It's a great paying job, and it's just a blessing to have that job every year. And it could open up more doors for other things later. If I could do that every year for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with it. I'd be happy. It's a steady job. But then that gives me opportunity to go out and do other things too once that job is done. The other thing I would recommend and give people advice about is share your work. It's really, really important, because not only that, you're going to make the people that hired you happy when you promote the work that you've been in. If they hired you to be in something and they're not promoting it, it's like, well, are you an artist? Who are you performing for? Are you painting a picture and putting it in a closet for nobody to see? If you're an actor and actress, who are you performing for if you are not promoting the films or anything that you've been in? You just want people just to stumble across it. It's like, no. It makes people, the producers and the director, happy. It's like, look, this person is promoting their work, and it looks like they had fun on the project. And the other thing too is, if you have a vested interest in the movie, if you're contracted, you're getting back end points. If the movie makes money, it's like, why are you not promoting the movie when you have a vested interest in the movie? It's like, it's all part of the teamwork to promote and share your work with everybody for the world to see. Other than that, it's like, why are you an actor or an actress? Who are you performing for? You're not going to share anything that you've been in. So no matter how big or small your role is, share it on social media. It takes less than a minute to copy and paste a link to, hey, my film is available here now. Go watch it. You'll see my character. It's not hard. It really is not hard to do. And no matter how big or small my role is, I do it, and it makes the filmmakers that I work with happy. They say to me, Hans, thank you for sharing the link to where people can watch our film. And I like hearing that. So do it.
That is amazing. I think you hit the nail right on the head, guys. And Hans and Aaron, just want to say a big thank you for your time. Look forward to having you on again soon. You've been great to talk to both of you, and thanks for being on at the same time. Once again, tell everybody your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, and tell everybody once again, how can they watch the movie Todd?
Aaron, you first.
All right. Well, again, Todd is not. We're in the process of post-production on Todd. It's going to be a few months before it's out, but we do have the teaser trailer. We got some exciting blooper reels. We got some fun stuff going on the website. If you go to www.toddmovie.com, all the information about the film, all the news about the film, all the upcoming stuff, you can follow it there. My personal website and my company is Payne Productions, www.payneproductions.llc. You can go there and find out about me a little bit, and we'll have status reports. Check Facebook, check YouTube. Might be releasing a trailer coming out pretty soon. Who knows? Keep a look, and then everything will be updated accordingly. And when the film comes out, expect a big, huge media push for the film Todd, and from people like, we have great actors on this, like Hans Hernke, Michael Winslow, Laura Stetman, Aaron Jackson, some really great names. So get out there, support this film, go see it, and just love on it a little bit. And I think it'll be great.
All right, great. Yeah. And Hans, tell everybody the same.
Oh, well, my most recent film is Another Planet from Outer Space. You can get that on DVD and Blu-ray on Amazon.com. It should be available soon on VOD. We're working that out with a distributor. my Facebook fan page is my name, Hans Hernke. My email, if anybody wants to reach out, talk to me about a role or book me, is actorhans223@AOL.com. My upcoming film is called Bridge of the Doomed, and it's shooting in Las Vegas in October. And then I have another film that I might be doing in the UK with my friend and mentor Stephen Smith in November. So we'll see what happens with that. And other than that, it's just got to keep plugging away. And the Animal Kingdom Season 5 starts up in January 2020.
Sounds great. Okay, we'll be looking forward to that. And, guys, just want to say a big thank you for your time. Looking forward to have you on both soon. If you guys want to do separate, that's fine. Want to bring in more people, that's great. I'm very open. And please do everybody a favor and keep me up to date. Looking forward to having you again soon, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate it, by the way.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program and or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.